My life different, my pipe different, my fight different, my time different, my mind different, my grind different.
It's your boy Crypto Magnet. Come to you guys with a quick crypto update. Before we get into it, hit that like and subscribe button and join us on the journey to 10,000 subscribers. Again, none of this is financial advice, just your boy's personal opinion. And if you're new to cryptos and you're looking for a community to join, head up to our Patreon where we have 3 tiers, 5, 10, and 25. If you're looking to know which top cryptos to join and which ones to avoid, head over to our Patreon. What have you been up to lately? Like, what does your day-to-day look like?
Man, right now day-to-day has just been just building co-way, building a team, you know, just making sure that everybody, you know, have their roles and whatnot, getting the operations done, and we're getting ready to head into big retail stores too. We're franchising and we're like wholesaling our products now, you know, things like that. So this is 100% different than anything that I've ever done before. So every day is like a learning process. I never built a corporate company before, never even went to school, so everything's like literally day by day.
Where's this drive coming from?
The drive. The drive comes from, I don't even know. I've always been like kind of like self-fueled, like always wanted more in life. Just didn't know what to do, you know, or what direction that I was gonna go in. I guess that's what everyone like starts off at, not knowing until you find your passion for what it is that you do. And this happened to be one of those passions. Getting paid to smile, you know.
Mike, so as we've obviously met each other, we talked. I met you in the craziest way.
That's okay.
Hotel room in Colton, way back in the day. But with the transition that we've seen each other in our transitions, what is your in all? You know, ATMs. You know, last time we spoke, we were speaking with startup, but life's transition, and everyone's maneuvering through this world of COVID. Outside of, you know, you started a new business that needs a physical audience.
Right.
You know, as you're talking about franchising and, you know, basically white labeling our service and product.
Yeah.
How do you keep up to the tides of even that conversation around that, but just always having that drive to continue to innovate?
I mean, a part of being a entrepreneur is like learning how to adapt, right? So before, when we first started, it was just doing teeth whitening services. So like all you would be able to get from us is like a whitening. And then COVID happened, and obviously everyone had to get creative. We had to figure something out. We had to close, you know, obviously things like that. And then we got into products. We sell products online. And I've always went into e-com. You know, I've done e-com, you know, things like that before. So I just get a real kick and drive out of the feeling of just like not knowing sometimes, right? Just it just excites me to just figure things out, you know, some way, somehow. If that answers your question.
No, it's a perfect answer, because when people are trying to build businesses and they see people who are building businesses, the success behind it, they typically don't understand the story behind the trials and tribulations.
Right.
But not all businesses work out.
Right.
Not being all an entrepreneur works out.
Absolutely.
It's a concept that we live up to because it's the dream that we've been able to define for our lives.
Right.
And sometimes the definition has a road that is, you know, not always, you know, straight and narrow.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, bro. I mean, I've done so many different things, you know, through life. You know, like right now I'm 29. I've been in the entrepreneur space since I was like a kid, right? Like I said before, washing cars, just doing things to make money, like learning the exchange of value. And I always just had this feeling in my heart that like I don't want to work for nobody. Like it would eat me inside. Relatives to tell me that I'm trying to take the fast way out or whatever, but I was understanding, you know, like money, right, differently than what they perceive it. So like just not being afraid of being different or thinking different, and not letting those situations like beat us up, because most people, we consider people's thoughts way too much than we need to, right? When there's people out there that's living the type of life that you want, you just gotta follow those people. So
yeah. I remember having a conversation with my mom when I had to tell her I'm gonna do entrepreneurship. Why don't you put yourself in all this student debt?
Right.
Mom, I had to figure it out. I tried.
Right.
That was your way. Me trying to do your thing. You know. Plus, I ain't trying to live with you after high school. I gotta figure it out. I gotta. It's all I know. So let me just try it.
Right.
But once I tried it, I didn't like it.
Right.
So when I throughout that entire endeavor, I was always talking entrepreneurship.
Right.
I was always hustling. I created an app for iPhones when I was 19 in college.
That's crazy.
Instead of me buying my student refund check to buy my student books, I hired a company overseas. Used Upworks back in the day. It was called 𝙁𝙤𝙧𝙗𝑚.
Really?
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, they transitioned. I got bought out and upgraded to Upworks. But it was 𝙁𝙤𝙧𝙗𝑚 is where I purchased and hired a company overseas for $600 to create an iPhone app back in 2012.
That's crazy.
And what I learned throughout that was putting all my eggs in one basket.
Right.
And when you put your eggs in one basket, as entrepreneurs, we're very hopeful. We're optimistic. What makes an entrepreneur is the mindset.
Right.
You know, and then the actions that come with it.
Right.
And so being gung-ho, having our eyes on the prize, you know, sometimes the prize doesn't come so coming.
Right.
You know, how many years have you been an entrepreneur striving for whatever that prize to you is?
Bro, I mean, it's unpredictable. You have to be willing to adapt, willing to change, willing to accept opinions and things like that, and just keep going. Like, consistency is the only thing that I learned. And one thing that I've learned up to now is that me personally, I'm like very like one track mind. I can only focus on one thing at a time. So in a lot of things that I was doing, I had to really shut down because the thing that I focus on starts to work. So I was like, you know, ATMs. There's a funny story behind that because it actually went missing during COVID, and I was trying to find it. But that's a whole nother story. But you know, that kind of point, I'm like, man, all right, whatever. But passive income was always the key. You know what I mean? Like, we understand money, just like what you do with the crypto and investing and like doing all these different things is all gonna add up in a collective way, you know, and it's adding value day to day. So that's amazing, bro. Like everything you're doing is dope.
Appreciate it. It's diversified.
Mm-hmm.
I grew up in a household, go to school, get grades.
Right.
My mom worked 22 years at Walmart until COVID retired.
Right.
But I grew up in an environment where you gotta work, get a good grades, get a job, and work that job until you retire.
Right.
If I just saw that lifestyle and saw the outcome of that,
Right.
you know, this is how I was thinking at an early age. This is not what I want.
Right.
I'm
Absolutely.
content. I'm great. So I had to figure it out.
Right.
And you know, I was telling my partner when I went to college, my mom didn't sign off.
Right.
I had to forge certain signatures. I did that because my mom was not supportive of me going out, and she wanted me to be at home. She wanted me to work.
She wanted you to do it what she thought was the normal way to do things.
Which many parents do when they try to give the experience they had in life,
exactly,
and feel that can be transferred to our kids. But life is completely different from the whatever year our parents grew up in.
Yep.
You know, especially in the times that we're having this conversation around cryptocurrencies. I had a conversation with a senior today, in her 70s. It's right beyond me. It's like it's not. I could, as much as I feel that I can explain this to you, it may still not be explainable to you.
Right.
Two different generations, two technology, the whole concept.
It was a whole different time, you know.
And even that time, but you experienced the times where we weren't even be able to have that conversation.
Right.
Because you know, a different ethnicity.
Yeah.
So I see people in a transition of like how they able to adapt and you know, basically get into life of what today is. But the blockage in technology, sometimes it's not transferable. Great, but I know who I can have that conversation to. I know who I'm going to give that energy to. But in the world of entrepreneurship, when we're going through, we don't know how. Sometimes we have all these hopes and dreams of building a business. We're saying it to people who have never even had that conversation with themselves.
Or never really had a real dream. Right.
People don't have that conversation about dreams.
Exactly.
Dreams are what we go to seek to, not what
dreams
we
are not real. Exactly.
Not what we wake up to.
Dreams are things that happens when you're in bed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But why not live it in real life? But that's the thing though, like we have to have people that do certain things in life, right? So it's actually beneficial to have people in the world that don't think like us. Because without that, then we wouldn't have the people that work and do some of the things
Freedom
that
of
helps
expression.
us as a service when we want to go out somewhere to a restaurant or whatever the case may be. So, you know, that's why it's only 1%. You know what I mean? So, you know, we got to climb our way to the top to be who we want to be.
And it's all in collaboration. My conversation, I always say, we don't make it out alive, we might as well join the journey.
Right.
And what I've learned in life, when we choose what we want out of life, we get what we want.
Right.
You know, really be defined. You said one thing. So I had a lot of things going on,
right.
but when I got defined, I knew where I was
right.
going to go. Here we are.
Right.
We're in a different. We're in your location. We're
right.
in your spot. So give us a tour of your spot.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So this is the reception, area where people, come in, whatever, hang out while they wait for the service to get done. This is where our receptionist will be. This is our product area. And then over here is where we do the services. Probably all over the place. Over here is where we do the services. We do anywhere between 30 to 90-minute sessions. You can see anywhere between 2 to 12 shades difference in one day. So, tune in with that. But yeah, and then back then we're gonna actually do trainings, certification, courses, teaching people, how to do teeth whitening, whether you're at a spa or whatever. And also, I just came from looking at a warehouse, so we need bigger space to be able to, shift inventory. So.
Connect us when you get to that warehouse. We're telecom.
Yeah.
We have a free service for you. We just help you find your services without you having to worry about it.
Yeah, let's do it, man. Come on now.
It's literally it.
Come on.
I do the shameless plug.
You know?
Well, this is dope. So you're looking at franchise. So as you get more spots and more locations,
Right.
What does your work-life balance look like?
Now it's a lot better because, just having, the vision, I got my partners, and it's like creating such a dope team. We all have strengths in ways that I couldn't even fathom, right? Because my brain thinks a certain type of way, and then you have, them that's more like well put together, organized, and then one that's like better at communication, things like that. So just with us all, together, we just been elevating extremely quickly. So I'm extremely happy with the squad that we got right now.
Cool. How'd you find your team? Where's the background?
What's crazy is we all met from trading.
That's how it works.
That's
like
it.
minds will always find like minds.
Yeah, that's a fact. And then it just kind of came together. It was just kind of like, hey, what are you doing? Like the idea. And then my partner, Bilal, he was one of the first people who had teamed up, with me. Like when we was just in a small little suite, and it was just a chair in the corner. Like it was nothing. So just to have people that believe in the vision, the way that you see it before it even happens. Like before this happened, there was almost like nothing, right? So, so we linked through trading, and then me and Dave ran into each other. It was crazy how we ended up linking up too. Is because we crossed paths through trading. One night, I really didn't even feel like going out. I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna go anyway. It was an event, whatever the case may be. I ended up getting there late, or they ended up closing early or something like that. When I got there, we was literally the only two people in the room, and it was like, hey, what's going on? It's like only something with a purpose can possibly put that together. And he's like, yo, what are you doing? I'm like, I got a teeth whitening, company. He like, bro, that's crazy because I have my own toothpaste because he has his line called 𝙁𝙧, right? So it's a men's grooming line, super dope product. And I was like, dope. So instead of buying, products from, where we get it from, let's connect. You know what I mean? Like two black-owned business owners got a toothpaste. Instead of me getting it done here, let's do it together.
Yeah.
And then it just ended up being a lot bigger than that. Then it was like a toothpaste, and then, like he's super passionate about the same type of thing, and then we just grew together.
That's dope.
So I think we are.
Dope.
Yeah.
Good energy always finds good energy.
I'm telling you, bro. Cannot wish for a better outcome. You know what I mean? So yeah, there's like no doubt. There's never been doubt in my mind, but the belief level when you have a team behind you, that's like, or should I say, beside you. Possibilities are endless. A part of being an entrepreneur is a lot of people quit because of doubt. people that don't believe in them and not finding the right people. And you never think that you're gonna find somebody that's gonna believe in something as much as you do. You know, whether it's like your friend, your partner, your significant other, whatever the case may be. It really does like elevate you in a way that you couldn't imagine.
Yeah. And that's how I always feel when I'm having conversations with my very funny business partner.
Yeah.
As the inspiration that you may see in another person, they may see in you.
Right.
And then they hype you.
Right.
And sometimes we're in our own life,
right.
we don't get hyped.
Mm-hmm.
We're gung-ho.
Right.
And you don't actually see yourself in the light that you're sometimes building because you're in build mode.
Right.
But when you get your flowers
right.
in all the ways that you deserve it,
yeah.
and you realize you're living in that frequency that you're still striving to be,
mm-hmm.
but you sometimes don't realize you are currently in.
Right.
And so we met many years ago.
Right. Exactly.
Many day trading. Good God, I got too many stories, got too many blown accounts.
Right.
Literally. Got too many blown accounts.
I know that feeling, man.
But learned my lesson of, all right, now that's a way to grow well.
Right.
Let's find another way.
Right.
Transition and being okay. Because
Mm-hmm.
I definitely had an ego. I can grow,
right.
if I can grow it.
Right.
But once
right.
you grow it, you sure can blow it. That's
right.
literally how it is.
That's a fact. You can go from 0 to 50,000 and then from 50,000 to 0
Just
real quick.
3 clicks.
In minutes.
3 clicks.
Right.
And a bad rollover. Forgot that I had two. The rollover was 1 minute because I was trying to get in and get out.
Yeah.
And learning those L's,
yeah.
which are learning lessons.
Right.
But being okay and being able to adapt. And so that's one thing I've seen in this transition with our own testimonies, but
right.
also being gung-ho on the vision. Because
right.
vision is sometimes it's self-explanatory. You only can explain it to yourself.
Right.
But when you have a passion, that passion then it's going to find other people who can connect.
Absolutely.
And so that's cool that you have this dope story that obviously. So I've been seeing it, Instagram, seeing you doing influencer marketing, going out to Cali, doing those different things that as with my own stuff and branding.
Right.
Any person who would want to build their brand,
right.
you want to find the ways that people do it. And so as I've seen it, this is now a spot, physical location, and as you expand, how do you build your work? How is your your goals towards your work-life balance and taking being able to be free? We build businesses to either run it or have the business run itself.
Right.
What is your dream towards that outcome?
I would say. All right, repeat that one more time.
Yeah.
Repeat that one more time.
There's two different people who build businesses. People who build business to run the business,
right.
or in businesses, people build a business for the business to run itself.
Right.
What is your strategy to define that outcome where you're a hands-on person? Obviously, you're in the nitty-gritty, but when it's self-explanatory, is it something that you're going to give away and let it be the McDonald's of teeth whitening?
Yeah.
Or
our goal is to become like the Aveda of this industry, right? Before, it was all about kind of being hands-on and being, you know what I mean? Like just, I'll never lose that creative side, because it's like, it was always a vision that I had from the beginning. But I had to learn how to let certain things go, because in order to grow, you had to be willing to give other people, roles and, things to do to make your life easier so you could focus on the growth of the actual business. So, it's all transition as far as like that goes. Like I can't even explain it because it's so like day to day. And I still don't even know sometimes how things happen. That's just a part of, entrepreneurship too, but I don't know, just making life easier. Just now, hopefully in the next year or so, or 2 years, there's like hundreds of people, hundreds of staffs and, big corporate office, and all those things, So.
Well, brother, I had to just come give you your flowers,
Appreciate it, bro.
because I seen the transition, I know the goals, and I support anyone.
Yeah.
My goal is always to support someone in their endeavors and highlight them, because sometimes we don't get highlighted until we're there.
I gotta give you your flowers too, bro.
Appreciate you.
I've been seeing you grinding, doing your thing like for a long time too, bro. So it's dope to see what you're doing with the videos and investing and your mindset, and your vision of just helping people and just like being there, bro. So I gotta give you your flowers.
Appreciate you, brother. All right, go.
My life different, my pipe different, my fight different, my time different, my mind different, my grind different. I ain't different. You can never make it out the trench. I ain't different. Made it to a starter from the